I have a residence card. Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
The thing that I came here to Latvia before starting a project. I came here to live, and after I found out that I can do Erasmus here, so after half year I lived, I just joined Erasmus and like continuing living here. No, the reason was like actually no reason. Like before, I lived for 2 years in England, and after I came back out of England, just 1 week passed, and I just straight away decided to go to Latvia. Like I don't know, I just all the time was dreaming about like Latvia to come here, because like everyone is dreaming about like Japan, Spain or something. But I was thinking like, why shouldn't I do something like even nearby? But everyone is like asking like, in Latvia, why? And like why not exactly? And just I like it here. That's all.
I like it here, yeah. And in which city are you living every day?
Currently, Vaiņodē. It's a kind of town or village near Lithuanian border. Before I lived a half year in Riga, but I'm trying to travel as much as I can, and like I'm not all the times being in Vaiņodē.
And in which organization are you volunteering?
My hosting organization is Vaiņodes vidusskola, but co-organization is Radividi pats in Liepāja.
And what is your everyday obligations in school?
Over that, just I have to make activities for students, like together with another volunteer, Agata, who is from Poland. In a small villages, small towns, there are usually like not much things to do for youth. So basically, just trying to make maybe board games, film evening, or maybe novus spēļu vakars or something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these 6 months before you started this volunteer work, what were you doing?
Because I was still before that, I was working in England a lot and studying as well. I had saved some money, so just half year I was basically doing almost like nothing, just enjoying my life, just going to the bars, meeting friends, meeting new people, going to concerts, and just like half year spent like this, and like trying not to spend straight away everything, but like I wanted to relax because I had some hard times before, so I said like, this is time for me, like treat myself a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what will happen after this project ends? You will go back to Lithuania?
I think I'm probably gonna go to Riga. I'm not 100%, but I think I can go to Riga. Like maybe find a good job there. Like I'm still improving in Latvian. I can already communicate well. So people who already speak 4 languages, so it's kind of a plus for in the CV. So I think probably Riga. Maybe after a while, maybe if I'll have anything, maybe back to Lithuania, to my hometown, Panevėžys. But so far I'm saying that back to Riga.
So you see your life in Latvia, basically, yeah?
Yeah, I could say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is great.
Like,
so this is something new that you're planning to stay
Yeah.
here, yeah.
I'm thinking that like if I even will decide move back to Lithuania, I still want like a summer house in Latvia, or opposite maybe, or to live in Latvia and summer house in Lithuania, or summer house in Latvia and live in Lithuania. So like, I still. First impressions arriving to Latvia as a tourist, it was much longer time ago. It was basically the seaside, like comparing when Lithuania has that little thingy of seaside, and Latvia is basically a whole country. It's like, okay, wow, like you can find some cheap accommodation next to the seaside. It's like, okay, awesome. But as a person who coming and living here, it was like interesting to see the people like wise, like when spending time together, speaking. Like the main idea, like one of the main ideas why I came to Latvia was like to learn a Latvian language. Just I was very, very surprised when I'm trying to communicate in Latvian, like maybe sometimes it's harder for me it was in the past because I was just learning. Now it's much better. Still I don't know the whole vocabulary, but I see that people are still all the time trying to turn to English. And it's very hard when they want to practice Latvian, but most of the people see just that I'm foreigner and they just start to speak in English, and like kind of a pity.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you want them to speak Latvian?
Of course, I'm in Latvia speaking with Latvians, and why I shouldn't speak Latvian too?
Okay, but is it hard to talk with like local residents here when you do everyday stuff like on the street or something like that? Is it hard, or it's much easier for you now?
Now, of course, it's easier, but it is really depends on personalities, because like a lot of people, like I don't know, comparing in Vaiņodē, in that village or town where I'm volunteering. So I was very surprised that people, like, you know, passing by, maybe you don't communicate each day, but we're not even saying hello. I was like very surprised. Like for me, that kind of wise thing is kind of strange, but when you're getting a good friends, like you all times communicating very well, hugging when you're meeting, it's just, you know, you have to stick with some of the people like which you see like your friends, and will be in the future your friends.
It's okay. And
Yeah.
usually just some people say that if people around you know that you speak English, not Latvian, they try to avoid you.
Oh yeah, that happens.
happens,
But as well, it really depends of personalities. Like some people just like, oh, go away. Like before I spoke better Latvian. Before that, I like usually calling to information center or something and just asking, do you speak English? Like no, and straight away putting the phone down. And like, I mean, like, if you don't speak English, like ask colleague or something. Like maybe I'm calling to information center to get information. Like no English, and like, and phone down. Like, so this is one kind of thing, like
Okay.
like running away. Actually, it happened not only in Latvia, these kind of things, but in Latvia as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, for me personally, like, of course, I'm Lithuanian, living in Latvia, and just 7 kilometers from the border. Right now, volunteering, but like before in Riga. But for the small towns and maybe small cities between the border, there are no buses and transportation at all. Like maybe you can get to the border somehow, but you still like need to walk and to get to another bus in Lithuanian side. Like, it's very pity. I'm thinking like that's such a terrible thing that, like for example, if you take it as an example, Daugavpils is like about 100,000 people resident city, and next to Daugavpils, in Lithuanian side, there are many small towns which are with quite big population as well. So for them to get to the Daugavpils is like only if you have car. And here is the same in Liepāja side. Like in Vaiņodē, people all the times will like to and will love to go to Mažeikiai, because of course, some people saying cheaper food, but in general, it's the nearest city, like where you can get something culture, maybe to the cinema, or maybe I don't know, a museum or something. And there is no possibility in general to do these kind of things. So that's kind of pity in my side, but of course that's personal for me. But I think for volunteers, I don't think that we see this kind of bad thing, because we don't use these kind of things. Sometimes when I'm speaking with some friends or some people in Latvian, I see that maybe my Latvian is not the best, but like they just stopping to talk with me and just talking with other Latvians, because like with them it's more simple to talk. Like sometimes, like I know, like every Latvian when we meet, like we all time saying "braliukas" for me, and like it's very nice. But from some of the people, of course, it's not the majority, but from some of the people, they just like like, oh, I'm just not gonna waste time while you're gonna find out that word in your head, like maybe they don't want to speak in English as well, and just like in group of people we're just gonna speak with those people.
So they don't appreciate the fact that you're trying even, yeah?
A lot of people appreciating, but some people, yeah, they just like, if you don't speak perfect, okay, I'm not gonna go more forward. I think I'll double repeat that, the seaside. But as well, the nature in general, the forests and other places are super, super amazing. For example, next to Jurmala, that big swamp is just like super, yeah, Kemer, yeah, it's super nice, so beautiful. And like, I think Riga in general as a city with such an old history, like, it's really amazing. Maybe the suburbs, the area around is not the nicest, but like the history of Riga is stunning as well. For sure, 100%. Like Alta is inviting from my hometown, from Panevėžys, people, friends, to come to Latvia. Like, come on, like seaside, and like, or still to do some things. Like, there are so many things in Jelgava, for example. There is salt room, or like escape rooms, like those bigger ones in Riga. Like so many activities. Sigil, the bungee jumping. Like, I think bungee jumping in Sigil is the only one in all Baltics. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but many things and activities to do. Like,
I think you feel more Latvian than Lithuanian.
sometimes I could say like this as well, but I would prefer to say that I'm kind of both. I know I'm original Lithuanian, I'm born in Lithuania, but I feel kind of a big love to Latvia, and learning Latvian.
You feel like at home, you know?
Actually, yes, I feel Latvia like in home. In Lithuania, I feel like it's my birthplace. I feel warm here, but in Latvia, I don't need to even think what I feel. I'm in home.
Maybe you have some roots, like Latvian roots. You don't know that? You haven't exploited?
Actually, my mother said that somewhere from grand's side is like someone is from Latvia, but it's like nothing actually very close related. So like even from uncles or I don't know parents or grandparents, it's like nothing Latvia common. Oh, just my grandma was working in a shop next to the Latvian border, so she kind of a little bit speaks Latvian, but it's like very fun Latvian.